Love, a precious gift, but also a journey full of challenges. Have you ever felt lost in your relationships? Or wondered how to build a lasting and happy love? Have you ever felt that he is no longer the same as before? Shorter messages, less frequent calls, appointments delayed for no reason, and you start wondering, is he trying to avoid me? When a man wants to keep his distance, he often doesn't say it directly but changes his way of communication subtly. If you are not discerning, you might get lost in an ambiguous, unclear relationship. Let's explore the ways of communication that men often use when they want to distance themselves from you, and more importantly, how you should deal with them. Welcome to the Sophia's Knowledge channel, and my name is Sophia. This is where we share lessons about love, real-life experiences, and secrets to build strong relationships. In today's video, Sophia will reveal to you 6 types of communication men use when they want to keep their distance. These are things you may have never thought of before. If you are seeking a deeper understanding of love and how to develop relationships, do not miss this video. Before we start the video, find a quiet space and wear headphones so that you can clearly feel every word I share. Relax and enjoy this journey with me. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's go! Number 1. Short and curt replies. Signs that a man wants to keep his distance from you. Have you ever texted or talked to a man, only to receive curt responses like beat Roy, sa kung duak or on ban? If this happens repeatedly, it may be that he wants to keep his distance from you without saying it directly. Many women do not immediately notice this sign. They think that their man is just tired, busy, or doesn't like texting. But in reality, the way he responds in communication reveals a lot about his emotions and the level of care he has for you. When a man loses interest, his way of communicating will change. In the early stages of a relationship or when a man is truly in love with a woman, he will always try to extend the conversation. He will ask many questions, wanting to know what you are doing, how you feel, and may even bring up interesting topics so that the two of you can talk for hours. But when he begins to reply in a curt, brief manner, it shows coldness and distance. The once lively conversations become dull. You send a long message, but he only responds with one word or a short sentence. You ask a question, but he only answers without asking back. If you notice this pattern of communication repeatedly, be cautious. It is not just a change in texting or speaking habits, but a sign of a larger change in his feelings. Why do men start replying curtly? There are many reasons why a man might change his mode of communication from affectionate and caring to curt and cold. He no longer feels as strongly as before. Human emotions can change over time. If initially he was enthusiastic but now becomes indifferent, he may have lost the excitement in this relationship. He wants to keep his distance but doesn't want to say it directly. Instead of confronting and saying that he no longer wishes to continue, many men choose to let go of the relationship by gradually responding less and more curtly. He has personal issues but does not want to share. Sometimes, a man becomes silent because he is facing problems in life, work, or pressure from family. But if he truly cares about you, he will proactively explain the reason instead of leaving you to guess. He is giving attention to someone else. One of the common reasons for a man becoming distant is that he is directing his attention to someone else. When a man starts noticing someone new, he will unconsciously reduce his interaction with you. Identifying types of short, curt responses. When a man wants to keep his distance, he usually demonstrates it through the following types of responses. Curt, emotionless replies you, how are you today? Him, normal. You, have you had dinner yet? Him, yes. You, do you want to go out this weekend? Him, up to you. Not asking reciprocal questions. A man who cares about you will always try to extend the conversation by asking questions like what about you, how are you today, or what are you doing? But when he is no longer interested, he merely responds without asking anything in return. Using phrases that shut down the conversation. I'm busy. I don't know. Whatever. It's up to you. Yeah, let's go. These phrases are not only short replies but also carry the implication of not wanting to continue the conversation. When you notice this sign, what should you do? If a man frequently replies in a curt, brief manner with you, instead of trying to text more or lure him into the conversation, do the following: observe his overall attitude. Look at how he treats you in real life. If not only his texting but also when you meet, he becomes distant, it may be that he no longer wants to maintain this relationship. Maintain your self-worth. Do not try to cling or continuously initiate conversation if the other party is not proactive. If a man truly likes you, he will not leave you talking to yourself. Focus on taking care of yourself. Instead of constantly worrying about why he has become cold, focus on yourself, do what you love, and meet people who truly appreciate you. Speak frankly if necessary. If you feel the need to clarify everything, ask him directly whether there is any problem occurring. A direct conversation will help you understand the situation and avoid assumptions. Finally, when a man starts replying briefly and curtly, it is not a minor sign but a clear signal of a change in his feelings or level of care. If this continues, do not lose your self-worth by trying to maintain a one-sided conversation. Someone who truly loves you will always want to listen to you, always want to extend the conversation, and never leave you feeling abandoned in the relationship. Therefore, save your love and time for someone who deserves it. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends or family to spread the value. And if you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments. I'm always listening and ready to answer. Let's continue together. Number 2. Less proactive in texting or calling. Signs that a man is distancing himself from you. In a relationship, when a man truly cares, he will try to contact you every day. No matter how busy he is, he will still make time to ask, chat, and maintain the connection. But if one day you realize that you are the only one texting first, the only one waiting for a call from him, then this is a clear sign that he wants to keep his distance. When a man is less proactive in texting or calling, what does that mean? It is not by chance that a man stops being proactive in keeping in touch. This change usually reflects a change in his feelings. Some common reasons include, he no longer feels excited about the relationship. Initially, he might have been very enthusiastic, constantly texting, calling, and checking on you every day. But as his feelings cool down, he will lose the motivation to keep in touch regularly. He wants to keep his distance in a passive manner. Some men do not want to say directly that they no longer wish to continue the relationship, so they choose to gradually reduce their attention. They hope that when they become less proactive, you will understand and step back. He has other concerns. If a man suddenly texts or calls less than before, it may be that he is caught up with work, family issues, or even another relationship that he cares about more. He assumes that you will always be there. When a man feels that you love him so much that you are always proactive, he may begin to neglect his efforts. He assumes that even if he is less proactive, you will still be the one texting first, still waiting for him. Signs that he is no longer proactive in keeping in touch. You are the one who always texts first. Previously, he used to frequently text good morning or ask what you were doing. But now, if you do not text first, he may remain silent all day, even for several days. Slow and unenthusiastic responses. When a man truly cares, he will reply to your messages as soon as possible. But if now you have to wait for hours, or even a whole day, just to receive a short reply, then that is a sign he no longer wants to maintain the connection as before. He no longer calls as before. If he used to like calling you, but now the calls become infrequent or disappear entirely, then it is possible that he no longer wants to invest in this relationship. He does not care about your feelings when contact is scarce. A man who loves you will pay attention to your feelings. If he notices that you are sad because he texts less but still does not change, that shows he is no longer too concerned about how you feel. Distinguishing between being truly busy and deliberately creating distance. Some men are genuinely busy because of work or personal issues, but the important thing is how they show it. If a man is busy but still loves you, he will let you know in advance that he is going through a busy period. Try to send a few short messages to keep the connection. Make time for you whenever possible. On the contrary, if he remains silent for many days without any explanation, or only contacts you when he needs something from you, then it is very likely that he is deliberately keeping his distance. What should you do when you notice this sign? Do not rush to text or call continuously. If you realize that you are the one initiating contact 100% while he does not reciprocate, stop for a while. Continuously texting will only make you less attractive in his eyes. Observe if he becomes proactive again. Try stopping texting for a while and see if he takes the initiative to contact you. If he truly cares, he will notice the change and try to reconnect. On the contrary, if he remains silent, then it is a clear sign that he has lost interest. Ask directly if necessary. If you feel confused or hurt by this change, you can directly ask him. I noticed that you have been texting less lately. Is something going on? Do you want to continue this relationship? A man who truly values you will not avoid, but will share clearly. Focus on your own value. If a man is no longer proactive in keeping in touch, view this as an opportunity for you to focus on yourself, develop yourself, and spend time with people who truly care about you. Do not let a man's distance make you lose your self-confidence and happiness. Finally, a man who loves you will always find a way to keep in touch, no matter how busy he is. When he starts texting or calling less proactively, that is a clear sign that his feelings have changed. It is important that you do not try to cling or continuously maintain a one-sided relationship. Instead, observe, evaluate, and make a wise decision to protect your value and happiness. If he truly values you, he will always find a way to keep you by his side. But if not, be ready to let go and open your heart to better things ahead. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Number 3. He often says, I'm very busy. When a man frequently uses busyness as an excuse to keep his distance from you, it's important to take notice. When a man truly cares about you, no matter how busy he is, he will try to make time to text, call, or meet with you. But if you start noticing that he constantly says, I'm very busy, I've got a lot going on these days, or I don't have time, then very likely this isn't genuine busyness but merely an excuse to avoid you. When is busy just an excuse? A man who is genuinely busy yet loves you will find a way so you never feel neglected. On the contrary, if he is just using busyness as an excuse to avoid you, you might notice signs such as not reaching out for extended periods. Even if a truly busy man can send a short message to let you know he's caught up, if he stays silent for days, or even weeks, it's a sign he's deliberately creating distance. He still makes time for other things, but not for you. He might say he's too busy to text you, yet he manages to post on social media, watch soccer, hang out with friends, or indulge in other hobbies. This indicates that you are no longer a priority in his life. No plans to meet you. A man who is busy but wants to be with you will always find a way to schedule time, however little. But if he constantly says, I'm very busy, without ever suggesting an alternative time to meet, that's a clear sign he no longer wants to be close. When you offer help, he still declines. If he truly has issues or is overwhelmed with work, a caring man would be willing to share and might even need your support. But if he consistently refuses your concern and doesn't want you involved in his life, it's a sign he's trying to pull away. Why do men use busyness as an excuse to avoid you? There are many reasons why a man might use the phrase "I'm busy" as an excuse to create distance. He's no longer interested in the relationship. Instead of directly saying his feelings have changed, he opts to fade away by claiming to be busy. He wants to avoid emotional responsibilities. If a man feels that the relationship is heading toward a level of commitment he's not ready for, he might use busyness to stall time or dodge any commitment. He has given his attention to someone else. One common reason for a man to become busy is that he has started prioritizing someone else he cares about more. With someone new in the picture, you're no longer his top priority. He doesn't want to hurt you directly. Some men aren't brave enough to outright say they no longer want to continue the relationship, so they choose to make you feel abandoned, prompting you to walk away on your own. When you notice that he constantly says "I'm busy," what should you do? Don't chase after him. If you continuously text, call, and try to win him back, it only makes you appear less attractive in his eyes. Instead, take a step back and observe if he reaches out when you're not contacting him. Figure out whether he's truly busy or just making excuses. Try asking him, "Are you really busy, or is there something else you don't want to talk about? If you're going through a hard time, is there anything I can do to help?" If he's genuinely busy, he'll appreciate your concern and may open up more. But if he keeps dodging the conversation, avoiding meaningful discussion, or not giving you a chance to help, then it's probably just an excuse. Focus on yourself instead of waiting. Instead of endlessly waiting for his texts or calls, spend time on your own. Go out with friends, work on self-improvement, and enjoy your independent life. When you become independent and happy without relying on him, you'll more easily recognize your own worth and avoid getting stuck in a one-sided relationship. Speak up if necessary. If this situation drags on and you feel you can no longer tolerate his indifference, have an honest conversation. Ask him what he really wants and whether the relationship still matters to him. If he truly cares, he will explain clearly. But if he remains vague or continues to make excuses, you'll have your answer: it's time to let go. In the end, the phrase "I'm very busy" can be a legitimate reason, but it might also be a sign of emotional distancing. The important thing is to differentiate between genuine busyness and an excuse to avoid you. A man who truly loves you will always find a way to make time for you, even if it's just a few minutes to send a text or make a call. If he consistently uses busyness as an excuse yet finds time for other activities, be alert that you might no longer be his priority. Instead of clinging to someone who no longer wants to invest time in you, focus on yourself, seek more meaningful pursuits in life, and open your heart to those who truly cherish you. Number 4. When a man no longer shares his personal life. Signs he is distancing himself from you. In a relationship, sharing is an important factor that helps both people understand each other better and build a strong connection. When a man loves and trusts you, he will want to tell you about what is happening in his life, from work and hobbies to even the smallest daily details. But if one day you realize that he no longer wants to share anything with you, doesn't talk about work, avoids mentioning the problems he's facing, or never brings up future plans, it could be a sign that he is trying to keep his distance from you. The change in communication style: when a man stops sharing, no longer talks about work, friends, or the events of the day. Previously, he might have frequently told you about a new project at his company, a funny story with a colleague, or even small everyday issues. But now, when you ask, he only replies with short answers such as "nothing special," "same as always," or "nothing to say." Avoids talking about his own feelings. When a man wants to keep his distance, he not only stops sharing external matters but also hides his emotions. If he used to tell you when he was stressed, sad, or happy, now he tends to keep everything inside and doesn't want you to interfere in his world. Gives vague answers without connection. When you ask, "How was your day?" instead of sharing details about his day, he simply replies in a curt manner, just normal, nothing special, or I'm fine. This shows that he no longer wants to open up to you. No longer shares about future plans. A man who truly loves you will want to share his future plans with you, whether it's a trip, a work project, or personal goals. But when he starts to distance himself, he will no longer talk about these things with you, because he is no longer sure about your place in his life. Why men no longer want to share their personal lives? He no longer feels connected to you. When a man feels emotionally distant, he no longer wants to share his thoughts, feelings, or personal issues with you. He is trying to create distance before leaving. Some men, when they want to end a relationship but don't want to say it directly, will gradually withdraw by sharing less, allowing the relationship to naturally fade away. He has other concerns. If a man who used to share a lot with you suddenly becomes secretive, it might be because he is giving his attention and sharing to someone else. He no longer considers you an important part of his life. When a man loves a woman, he wants her to be part of his world. But if he no longer sees you as important, he will not feel the need to share with you anymore. When you notice these signs, what should you do? Do not force him to speak. When you realize that he no longer shares, do not force him to tell stories or express his thoughts. This will only make him feel pressured and may cause him to withdraw further. Observe how he treats you in real life. If he only shares little over text messages but still makes time to meet you and cares about your feelings, then he might just be going through a difficult phase and does not want to talk much. But if he not only shares less but also distances himself through his actions, then he is truly pulling away from you. Try asking open-ended questions. Instead of asking, "How was your day?" and receiving a vague answer, try asking more specific questions such as, "Is there something bothering you? Is there something you've wanted to do recently but haven't yet?" If he truly cares about you, he will at least try to share a little. But if he continues to keep his distance, then that is a clear sign. Focus on yourself instead of trying to bring him back. Don't spend too much time trying to understand why he has changed. Instead, focus on yourself, on what makes you happy, and on those who truly care about you. Be ready to let go if necessary. If a man truly loves you, he will want you to be a part of his life. If he no longer shares with you, it might be time to consider whether this relationship is still worth continuing. Finally, sharing is an important part of any relationship. When a man stops sharing about his personal life, it is not just a small change, but it could be a sign of a larger emotional distancing. It is important that you do not try to force him to talk, nor should you torment yourself over this change. Instead, observe his actions, focus on your own worth, and be ready to let go if you realize that you are in a one-sided relationship. A man who truly loves you will always want to let you into his world. If he no longer wants to share, it might be time for you to find someone more deserving. Number 5. When a man avoids meeting in person. A clear sign of distancing. In a relationship, meeting face-to-face not only helps two people bond more but also shows how much they care for each other. When a man loves you, he will always want to make time to meet, even if his schedule is busy. However, if you start noticing that he consistently avoids appointments, finds excuses not to see you, or seems reluctant every time you suggest meeting, it is a clear sign that he is trying to keep his distance. When a man avoids meeting, what does it mean? A man who deliberately avoids meeting may have many reasons, but most often it stems from no longer wanting to maintain intimacy with you. Below are some recognizable signs: constantly using busyness as an excuse. When you suggest meeting, he always says he is busy with work, family, friends, or has too many things to do. At first, you might understand, but if this happens continuously without any effort to make up for it, it is very likely just an excuse for him not to see you. No longer taking the initiative to suggest meeting up. If he used to always plan dates with you but now you are the only one who initiates meeting arrangements, it is a clear sign that he no longer desires to spend time with you. canceling plans at the last minute. One of the clearest signs of avoidance is when he agrees to meet but then cancels at the very last minute. If this happens repeatedly, he may be deliberately delaying any face-to-face meeting. No longer arranging private dates, only meeting in large groups. If you used to have private dates but now he only agrees to meet when there are many people around, it may be because he no longer wants intimate moments with you. Always saying "let me check" but never setting a specific time. When you ask about a meeting, he never gives you a clear time but only says "I'm not sure yet, let me see," or "let me check my schedule." These phrases are usually just ways to delay and avoid, rather than directly saying he does not want to see you. Why does a man avoid meeting? There are many reasons why a man may no longer want to see you in person, but here are some of the most common. He no longer finds the relationship appealing. If a man no longer feels excited when he's with you, he will avoid situations that force him to face you so that he doesn't have to confront his true feelings. He wants to gradually distance himself without saying it directly. Instead of having a clear conversation about his feelings, many men choose to fade away by reducing face-to-face meetings. They hope that as the distance grows, you will eventually understand and leave on your own. He has another interest. If a man is spending time with someone else, he will find every possible way to avoid meeting you. This is one of the typical signs that he may be directing his attention to a new relationship. He feels pressured when meeting you. If your relationship is filled with tension, arguments, or if he simply no longer feels happy around you, he might avoid meeting to escape those uncomfortable feelings. What should you do when you notice these signs? Do not continuously push him to meet. When a man wants to avoid meeting, the worst thing you can do is continually push him to see you. This only makes him feel pressured and drives him further away. Observe his reaction if you stop taking the initiative. Try ceasing to suggest meetings for a while and see if he reaches out to you. If he truly loves you, he will notice the change and try to reconnect. But if he remains silent or continues to avoid you, it is a clear sign that he no longer cares. Ask him directly about the reason. If this avoidance continues, you can ask him directly, "Is something going on that makes you always avoid meeting me lately?" If you feel you no longer want to continue this relationship, please be honest with me. A man who truly respects you will not dodge these questions but will clearly express his feelings. Focus on yourself instead of waiting. Instead of constantly worrying about why he is avoiding you, spend time on yourself. Meet friends, do the things you love, and focus on what matters most in your life. Be ready to accept the truth and let go if necessary. If a man truly cares about you, he will have no reason to avoid meeting you. But if he continuously uses excuses to avoid you, it might be time to accept that he no longer wants to maintain this relationship. Finally, face-to-face meetings are an important part of any relationship. When a man starts avoiding meetings, it is not just a small change in habit, it can be a clear sign that he is distancing himself from you. The important thing is not to cling or try every possible way to force him to make time for you. Instead, observe his actions, reassess the relationship, and make decisions that protect your self-esteem and happiness. If he truly values you, he will never make you feel as though you have to beg for a date. But if he no longer wants to see you, have the strength to move on and find someone more deserving. Number 6. Changing the way of addressing or acting distant. When a man wants to keep his distance from you. In a relationship, the way you address each other reflects the level of intimacy and affection between the two people. When a man loves you, he will call you sweet names like my love, darling, honey, or other special nicknames that only the two of you understand. But if one day you notice that he starts changing the way he addresses you, becoming more distant and cold, it may be a clear sign that he is deliberately creating distance between you. When a man changes the way of addressing, what does it mean? A man who has feelings for you will always maintain a close form of address, even creating unique nicknames to express intimacy. However, when he begins to distance himself, the change in how he addresses you will gradually reveal itself through the following signs, from intimacy to formality. If he used to call you my love, darling, or honey but now simply calls you you, uses your name, or even buddy, it is clear he no longer wants to maintain the closeness he once did. Avoids using your name or directly addressing you. When a man wants to keep his distance, he often avoids calling you by name or using any term of endearment. He may just answer your questions without adding any form of address, making the conversation feel cold and emotionless. Uses unfamiliar words that lack warmth. If he used to say loving phrases such as I miss you, have you eaten yet, or I love you, but now his responses are curt words like yeah, I know, or whatever, that is a sign of growing distance. Shifts from we to I/you or me/you. A man who truly loves you often uses we to express connection, for example, where shall we go this weekend, or what should we do next? However, when he wants to distance himself, he starts talking only about himself or shifting responsibility onto you, such as do what you want, I don't know, or even I think this makes more sense. Why does a man change the way he addresses and act distant? There are many reasons why a man might suddenly change his form of address or seem colder, but the most common reasons include, he no longer feels connected in the relationship. When a man no longer feels an emotional bond with you, he will unconsciously change how he addresses you to reflect the growing distance. He wants to withdraw from the relationship. Some men, rather than directly addressing emotional issues, choose to cool off so that you eventually notice the change and withdraw on your own. He is showing affection to someone else. If a man suddenly changes the way he addresses you, it might be because he is directing that intimacy towards someone else. When his feelings shift elsewhere, he will no longer want to maintain the closeness with you as before. He feels a distance in the relationship but isn't ready to express it. Sometimes, men do not openly say that they are experiencing problems in the relationship. They show it by changing the way they speak and address you, so you might sense that something is off. What should you do when you notice these signs? Do not immediately ask him why he has changed. If you notice a change in the way he addresses you, don't rush to ask him directly, as this may make him defensive and more inclined to withdraw. Instead, calmly observe additional signs to get a more comprehensive view of the relationship. Examine changes in his overall communication. Not only in the way he addresses you, but also pay attention to other changes in his communication, such as texting less and calling less than before. Responding with short, cold messages. No longer taking the initiative to contact you. Avoiding meeting in person. If these behaviors occur simultaneously, it is very likely that he is genuinely distancing himself from you. Try calling him by the old nicknames. Try using the affectionate nicknames you once used with him and observe his reaction. If he reacts positively, perhaps it is only temporary pressure that caused him to change. But if his reaction is indifferent or dismissive, then his feelings may have truly changed. If necessary, directly ask about his feelings. If this change continues and you feel uncomfortable, directly ask him, lately, I've noticed you seem a bit distant, what's going on? Do you still feel comfortable in this relationship? A man who truly cares about you will be willing to explain. But if he evades the conversation or gives a lukewarm answer, then it might be that he no longer wishes to continue the relationship. Do not try to force him back if he really wants to distance himself. If you realize that he has changed too much and no longer has feelings for you, don't try to force him to go back to how things were. A man who truly loves you will always keep the intimacy and connection alive, rather than leaving you feeling like a stranger in your own relationship. In conclusion, the way of addressing and speaking is one of the key indicators of changes in feelings. When a man shifts from warmth to cold formality, it is a clear sign that he is creating distance. It is important to observe all aspects of his communication, consider your own feelings, and make the right decision. If he truly wishes to distance himself, have the strength to accept it and move on. A man who truly loves you will always maintain closeness and connection, instead of making you feel like a stranger in your relationship. Conclusion. Communication is a crucial element in maintaining a relationship. When a man begins to change his communication style by becoming distant, it is not a coincidence but a sign of a profound shift in his feelings. If he responds with brief, perfunctory answers, is less proactive in contacting you, frequently uses busyness as an excuse, no longer shares details about his personal life, avoids meeting in person, or changes the way he addresses you, then it is very likely that he is trying to distance himself from you without saying it outright. These signs are not only changes in communication habits but also reflect the level of priority he gives to you. A man who truly loves you will always want to stay connected, always make time, and find ways to maintain closeness. Conversely, if he deliberately keeps his distance, it is a reminder for you to reconsider this relationship. Instead of trying to cling to someone who no longer wants to be with you, focus on yourself, enhance your self-worth, and spend time with those who truly appreciate you. Do not let changes in his communication make you lose confidence or feel unworthy of love. A healthy relationship always comes from mutual respect, and if someone no longer wants to be with you, have the courage to let go and open your heart to the possibility of something better. Thank you for watching the video until the end. I hope today's insights on love provide you with new perspectives and valuable lessons. If you find the video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your loved ones. I am very grateful for your support, and I hope that each video brings you closer to a happy and lasting love. See you in the next videos. Have a wonderful and inspiring day.